Welcome to Cook with Joy. Well, it's kind of becoming Cook with Derek and Joy and Jake, and it's kind of Cook with us. But this is season 5 of my show that I'm still calling Cook with Joy. We'll get around to the semantics of that a little bit later. And in this season, season 5, we're trying to do foods that are still really healthy, vegan, gluten-free, really nutritious and delicious, but foods that are simple and maybe even foods that might be a little bit complex for people to understand how to cook.
Is that simple thing like aimed at Jake and I?
Yeah, kind of, pretty much, kind of. Jake was a Division I athlete, and Eric, isn't your name Eric?
Why not? It can be for the purpose of this show.
Derek, didn't you play sports in college?
I did.
What'd you play?
I did. I was a volleyball player in college.
Yeah? Gosh, you and Sandy have got to play. But anyway, I made a deal with her that I would supply, like I'd make the food, I'd do everything as long as she did what it took to be a student athlete. And you know that takes a lot. I was a student athlete too, so I understand that. But Jake never learned how to cook. And now she's married, and she married a guy who cooks, so she still really doesn't know how to cook. Do you, Jake?
It's not that I don't know how to cook or that I can't cook, it's that I don't cook. You used to always tell this story about when I was 2 years old sitting on the counter next to the stove and making eggs, so I can cook. But I just have people around me that cook a lot better, and I love to eat, so I don't cook. It's not that I can't cook.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well today I want to talk about artichokes, and I want to talk about artichokes for a couple of reasons. First of all, they're really, really, really good for you. They're high in fiber, they're low in calories, except of course we're going to add some stuff that's going to add calories to them, but they're high in fiber. They're also high in bitters, and bitters are something that we should be getting on a daily basis, but nobody does because we don't like them.
I put them in my old fashions.
Not that kind of bitters.
No.
It's like bitter greens, things that make your liver work. So artichokes are really good for your liver, and the fiber makes them great. They're high in folic acid, high in vitamin K, so many things that an artichoke does for you. I grew up in a really small town, and I had never even seen an artichoke or an eggplant by the time I was, I don't know, like 16, and I moved to the big city of Minneapolis, and there I discovered artichokes. I had them, but I had no idea, like, where did they come from? How did you cook them? They're actually pretty simple, but you have to learn a couple of things. So I'm going to show you how to do those. But first, we're going to talk about the stuff that we're going to dip into, the artichoke is going to get dipped into. So I'm going to teach you how to prepare artichokes, but I'm thinking that I don't even know if Jake knows how to even eat an artichoke unless I like put it in front of her. I can just kind of see her trying to eat it like an apple. You are so silly.
You mean it's not like a candy apple? Duh, of course I know how to eat an artichoke, Mom. I've been eating artichokes since I was a little kid, okay?
It does kind of make you wonder, doesn't it? Like, how did our ancestors learn how to eat these things? I have no idea. But I'm going to show you how to actually do this, how to prepare it. And the first thing is find a really good artichoke. And a lot of times you'll see artichokes and they're dried out, they're not great looking. You want them to be really full like this. They're called globe artichokes for a reason. There are actually at least 2 kinds of artichokes. There's the Jerusalem artichokes that grow underground, and they're really a great source of protein, and a lot of people add them to protein powders and that sort of thing. But this is a globe artichoke, and this grows above ground. It's a member of the thistle family, and it kind of looks like a thistle. It's got little sharp points at the end. So first thing is look for one that's really firm. I look for heaviness. So if they're light, they're not going to have much meat inside, and that's the part that you really want. Here's a cooked one, and it's the end of this that you want to eat. It's just that little fleshy part. And I really wonder, like, how did anyone discover that you could eat that? They must have been starving or something. I don't know.
It doesn't really look like food.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. At the center of it is a heart. And the heart is like, Derek, have you ever had an artichoke?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Spinach artichoke dip.
That's not the same thing, jeez.
With my old fashions.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. Okay, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna cut the stem off, and you want it to sit flat in your pan. Now, I like to use a steamer, and I'll show you that in just a minute. We're going to cut the bottom of it off so it's flat. See how it's now going to sit nice in the pan? It's also going to sit nice in the bowl.
It looks like an ornament.
It does, doesn't it? This stem is also edible, but I did already cook one of these, and it was very woody tasting, so I'm not even going to bother cooking this. But often, especially if they're younger artichokes, the stem is still really delicious, and it's a great, you can just put it right in the pot.
How can you check the age of an artichoke? Do you have to like count the rings when you cut it?
I think it's according to their identification, like if they have their driver's license with them. I think that's how you do it.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're going to set that aside. So now you have this artichoke. Now, what I used to do when I was a neophyte is I just would cut all of the leaves, okay? And that's fine, and you can cut it all the way up to the top, But a way to do it a little quicker and to get this more open look is to just cut the whole top of it off. So you're just going to cut it right across the top, and now you can open it up. And this is going to do two things by opening it up. It's going to help it to cook more evenly, number one. Isn't that pretty? It looks like a rose. Number one, it's going to cook more evenly, and number two, I'm going to stuff some garlic cloves and some lemon into the artichoke before I cook it so that it adds to the flavor as it's cooking. Got that?
Got it.
Okay, so now we're just going to cut all of these little pointy edges off, and really the only reason, we're doing it for two reasons. The number one reason is so that people don't go, ow, 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 when they're eating the artichoke. That's not a very fun way to eat food. Painful food is never fun. Do you agree?
I do not want to hurt myself while I'm trying to eat.
No, not at all. Okay, so we're going to cut all these little points off. They're going everywhere in my kitchen. That's okay. I'll have the cleaner for that. All right, so now I'm going to open it up like a rose. And then I'm going to add a little bit of garlic to it. And I'm just going to put that down the center. And you could cut it. You could put more in it if you wanted to. But I'm just going to put it right down the center. And then I'm going to take a little bit of lemon. And I'm going to put a little lemon piece right down the center. I'm going to squeeze that into it. And then I'm going to put it, I like to put them into a steamer. Now, you don't have to, but my thinking is that you retain more of the nutritional value. So I'm going to use a big pan, and I'm going to use, remember these?
Oh,
You have
those
one
are,
of those
I
in
have one. I
college?
cook
You have
broccoli in
one?
it.
Yeah. So I'm going to put that in the bottom of the pan, and then I'm just going to add the artichoke to the pan, and I'm going to boil it. I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then I'm just going to let it simmer until it's done. And you know, it's really hard to say how long it takes to cook an artichoke because you have to wait until they come out with a gentle tug. And so you see that, the little white meat at the top, when it's loose enough, it'll come out easily and effortlessly. And that's how you know it's done. I would say maybe 45 minutes for an artichoke this size, but you just really have to be able to gauge it. Now here's the cool thing about artichokes is they're delicious cold as well. A lot of people buy them in, you know, the artichoke hearts in cans, and they're delicious cold as well as hot. I particularly like them hot, but you can do them any way you want. So now while that is steaming, I'm going to prepare a couple of sides that I like to dip them in. And what do you put on your artichokes besides spinach dip?
Lots and lots of mayonnaise.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Just mayonnaise. Did you put anything in the mayonnaise?
A fork.
A fork, okay. We're going to use veggies, and we're going to add chopped garlic to the veggies. And you could do that with mayonnaise too if you want to eat, you know, if there's a reason that you need to eat dairy and eggs, Derek, you can add.
Like on a dare?
On a dare, yeah, you could add, you know, you can do it to your mayonnaise if you want. So we're going to chop up the garlic, and we're going to add that to the veggies. And then we're going to also melt some vegan butter. And I like this Miyoko's butter a lot. I know some people like Earth Balance, and that's fine. But I am just in love with what Miyoko's is doing. And now Trader Joe's is carrying Miyoko's butters and some of their cheeses. So I've melted this already. Got a little pan here with some melted Miyoko's butter. And I'm just going to add a little bit of lemon. Now you can squeeze lemon by hand. Of course, you don't want to get the seeds in it. So if you're really trying to avoid the seeds, there's two different things that you can do.
I like that little colander thing you have there in the front of the table.
The little squeezy thing?
Yeah, you have to make sure you put it upside down.
That's right. So there's two different ways that you can do it. You can squeeze it into your hand and use your hand to capture the seeds, or you can use this upside down colander, as he calls it. You want to put it with the round side up, which is kind of counterintuitive, right? Because it looks like you should put it with the round side down, but
if you watch Cook with Joey, you know that's wrong.
Then you would know. Then you would know. So we're going to add that, and it seems so simple, right? Just these two little accoutrements that make it delicious, delicious, delicious. And then we're going to add the chopped up garlic to the veggies.
I notice you're measuring these things very precisely
Yes,
as usual.
it's a very precise thing. We are going to put them in cute little dishes, though. That's the most important part, is making them be cute.
That's the part that I would definitely not do.
That
I would
you would
eat
not
it.
do.
Yeah.
You would just eat them. Okay, so
Right on
there's the butter with lemon, and then we're going to add the garlic to the veggies, chopped very finely. Now you could put dill in this as well. I've had dill in it in the past, and that adds a lot of color. It's kind of fun, especially at the holidays, to have an artichoke. If you notice, my artichoke is in an actual artichoke. That is an artichoke dish. When I got married, my husband had 4 artichoke dishes, and so we always serve our artichokes in a dish. One thing you'll want to make sure is that you have a container nearby, or a plate, or something that's cute that you can end up putting the leaves in, because they get discarded and then people don't know what to do with them.
Like edamame shells.
Yes, like edamame shells, exactly. Exactly, exactly. You could do any combination of this. You could add garlic to the lemon butter. You could add lemon to the veggies. You could add dill. However you want to do it. Find the dips that you like. And then this is how it's going to come out after about 45 minutes. You're going to peel it all the way down to the bottom. And when you get inside, you're going to see this very center. Now, some people take these out ahead of time. And you can actually reach in and pull out those center creases. And these are all fibrous. You're not going to eat any of those. So you're going to set those aside. And can you see inside of that, Derek?
Looks really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. That is the heart of the artichoke, and that's the part that people really want to get to. It's kind of like you eat all these leaves just to get to the heart, and then you cut the heart up and dip it in, and that's like phenomenal. But this is one of my favorite little appetizers to bring to a party. People aren't used to them. They're not common around. People make that stupid spinach artichoke dip, but to have an actual artichoke with a variety of dips for them is just something kind of unexpected and something kind of fun and something really, really good for you. And that's always our goal here on Cook with Joy and Jake, Cook with Joy and Jake and Derek and
Us.
Cook with Us.
Yeah.
Yes, it's always our goal is to give you something that's fun, that's unexpected, that's nutritious, and that you can make right at home. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. You know, if you ever have questions about anything that I've talked about on the show, just shoot me a quick email or drop me a Facebook message and I'll get you the details that you're looking for. And I hope that I see you on our next episode of Cook with Joy.
And Derek.
And Derek. And Jake.